Pecha Kucha 176, The Boys and Star Fox. It's been a difficult week trying to actually get stuff done. Two reasons for that. One, I was reading The Boys, and it's a bit moreish. It's instantly become one of my favourite books ever. And two, 5 Squid just makes it even harder for me to self-motivate. But The Boys I spoke a little bit about last week. A team of not superheroes try to keep the superheroes in line. They work for the CIA. Superheroes operate in this world with a certain amount of casualties they're allowed to make when they do their stuff. If they're causing too much trouble for the status quo, the boys step in, try and put them back in line. It's also personal, and we'll get to that. But this is the first page opening up. Like Clockwork Orange, we're having a little bit of the ultra violence. I'm a big fan of making strong statements. Right, so The Boys is led by Billy Butcher, British guy in America with a bulldog called Terror that fucks anything on demand, because we like our humour to be both crass and quite deviant. He's the mastermind behind everything. Wee Huey is the everyman who joins the group, and when things are explained to him, it's convenient that they're explained to the reader as well. The book starts with him going on a date with his girlfriend. On the next page, basically a superhero fight kind of ends their date in a grotesque way. This book's version of The Flash is responsible and shows about as remorse as, I don't know, a dog taking a shit in a park. Wee Huey gets involved with the boys through that. Other members of the group are the female, who is extremely violent. Every time she gets into a fight, people's faces come off, literally. She doesn't speak, she doesn't socialize. She is one of the 2 people who are the muscle in the group. The other one being the Frenchman, who speaks lots, says little, and is known to fly off the deep end. He's also the only person who can really deal with the female, because you try to touch her even for a handshake, she'll probably take your face off, literally. Then there's Mother's Milk, the guy Butcher relies on to keep things actually happening. Technically, no one has superheroes other than enhanced durability and strength and a little bit of speed. He is probably stronger than most because he's bigger than most. And then who are the superheroes they're up against? The 7 are the pinnacle in this world. They're basically the Justice League. They're a bunch of cunts. The newest member, the blonde chick, is not exactly down with how much of a bunch of arseholes they are. No spoilers, that's the premise. I highly recommend reading it. I'm halfway through. I will continue. I love it. So this week, I actually had someone talking to me about a job on 5 Squid, which I couldn't quite figure out what he wanted to do, but from what he showed me and what he told me, I kind of thought, I probably don't want to go near this. It sounded like he wanted me to basically make a composite image of 3 real-world places. So that's what I was trying to put together using the images he sent me to send back to him. But as I was doing it, I was just thinking this requires far more precision than a man can do after a full day's work, especially when architecture's not his thing. He got back to me today after not talking for a week. We confirmed, and I just kind of said, nah, it's okay, I'd rather not. I don't know, for some reason I was listening to some Star Fox music on YouTube, and it just made me want to do some fan art, so I started drawing like Fox McCloud getting chased down by the wolf guy from the N64 game with Falco like, get out the way, Fox! And, I don't know how to draw R-Wings, I don't know how to draw furries, I don't know how to draw any of these things, so I'm just Googling all of this, like, how do you draw this, how do you draw that? This is the fun and this is the terror of art. You start with that blank page, and sometimes you don't have a knowledge base either, but it doesn't take that long to learn anything to the degree to kind of start putting things together. So my second version, where I'm starting to get character likenesses, and I've figured out kind of how big the cockpit is on an R-Wing, and how Fox McCloud sits in it, and how to make a fox look like a fox to a point. Work in progress. I've been meaning to finish it all week, but you know me. Even at work with my little crappy £1.50 sketchbook, in lunch I was trying to figure out the likenesses for both the vehicles and the characters. It's not an easy thing, but you can accomplish so much when you just think about the shapes, how they go together. I've been meaning to draw a little bit of the Immortal Hulk because I really do like the way the Hulk looks. I was also desperately trying to fill pages for the Pecha Kucha because it's just, I was just reading the boys. That's all I really want to do. Had a lot of fun zooming in super close, just using the G pen on top of some simple pencils. But I wasn't really filling the page with the time I had, so I did a kind of big black silhouette thing. Not finished, horribly unsymmetrical in a way that isn't aesthetically pleasing. Needs more work, but that's the beauty of this. You can always go back and add more. Maybe I will. We'll see. Also on the bus, I was trying to do this kind of heads from different angles thing. I really shouldn't have picked Bison. He wears a hat. His hat is a very weird shape. It's not even just a military cap. The cap Bison wears is even weirder, and I've never actually drawn M. Bison in, acknowledging that the cap he wears is different. I also drew a Smiley show where Smiley and Vegeta have forgotten who the other guy is because that's how long it's been since I've done Smiley shows. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But this is actually the sad clown of the week because it's I haven't got anything going on that stops me from spending 45 minutes a day doing Smiley shows. I've always considered it to be the bread and butter backbone of whatever I'm going to do because I can produce a pretty high quality thing in a relatively short time period, but it's not that short and it's not that easy, so I don't. And that's why I'm trying out the whole 5 squid thing. If I can see if I can get money up front instead of money down the line when people start paying me for my Patreon through my Patreon for the Smiley show in several years from now, when there's actually a consistent thing you can read and you can find it and you can support it. But that's definitely for the future. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 176, and I'll see you next time.